Hey, so my cousin Tyler has type 2 diabetes, and since you're going into the medical field, I was wondering if you could explain a little bit of what that means to me.
Okay, I would love to. So, type 2 is very different from like type 1. So the basic difference is like type 1, you have no insulin. Type 2, you either have a lot of insulin or not enough. So I have like some pictures and like visual aids to help explain this. So this is what normally happens whenever you have sugar in your blood or whenever you eat something. So basically when you eat something, you have glucose going into your bloodstream, which is the blue dots are the glucose, the pink are the insulin, and then the red blood cells are the red. So your glucose is going to attach to the insulin, and the insulin is the key that opens the door to the cell and allows the glucose in. So you have your insulin and your glucose going into the cell. So this is a normal cell. The cell wants the glucose for energy. So this is what happens. You have glucose in your blood, it binds to the insulin goes into the cell. With type 2 diabetes, what happens is you have this influx of glucose in the bloodstream. So all this blue is in the bloodstream. And there's only like 2 insulins secreted by the pancreas because it's decreasing its insulin production. So you have the glucose in the bloodstream, and it's only allowing, like, some insulin is connecting to some glucose, and so only some of it is getting into the cell. So it's low glucose levels. So you're not getting as much in the cell as you need, so your cells are starving. They need that energy, they need those nutrients. So what happens is your cells signal your fatty stores to be broken down. And when your fatty stores are broken down, they can build up around the cell. So you have this fat around the cell that definitely doesn't allow the glucose in. As you can see with the arrows, it like bounces back. So it definitely isn't able to get into the cell. Your cells are gonna starve, and that's not good. So those are pictures I drew, but something that might be more helpful is I made a little Play-Doh model. And basically what this one is, so normally you eat something and you're putting sugar into your blood. So you have the glucose, the blue Play-Doh, you have the glucose in with the red blood cells. And then your pancreas secretes the insulin, like these purple dots, and then it'll bind to this glucose and go straight into the cell. Again, the insulin is the key that opens the door to the cell, if you think of it that way. With type 2 diabetes, we're going to get rid of 2 of these, so we only have 1 in the bloodstream. That's not going to get the cell enough glucose. The glucose tries to go to the cell, it bounces back, it's not able to. So your cell is starving, and like I said before, it decides that the fatty stores can be broken down, but the thing is, they build up around the cell, and then the glucose definitely can't get in, and neither can the insulin. So it's only able to get into some parts of the cell. So that's basically what happens. You definitely want just a healthy bloodstream to have a good amount of insulin to even out your blood sugar levels. But if you only have a couple of these, you have high blood sugar because you have too much in your bloodstream and it's not going to where it needs to be. So basically, we have like signs and symptoms and also like complications that can happen from type 2. So the signs and symptoms, the most obvious one is like frequent urination, frequent tiredness, like you're always tired, you're always hungry, you're always thirsty. Complications that can happen from constant high blood sugar, so constant high amounts of glucose in your blood without enough insulin to balance it out. What that means is you can have heart disease, kidney disease, you can have different eye problems like glaucoma and like cataracts and stuff. So those are definitely like constant complications you can have with like high blood sugar. But that's basically what type 2 is.
Thank you.